Hi, this is Omar Miranda with this week's What's Your Problem? Do you get angry? I know I do. Everybody does. The question is, what do you do with it? And number two, what do you get angry about? So why am I filming in front of this set of a volcano and a village and people and animals and a cart? Well, the question is, when you get angry, you can either explode on somebody like a volcano and go off like this. Ah, volcano! Volcano! Ah, oh no! My village! Oh no! Ah! Ah! Chaos! Big! Ah! 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 See what happens when you get angry and you explode? It affects negatively the people around you. Or you can hold it in and hold it in and hold it in and hold it in and don't tell anybody and don't tell anybody and don't tell anybody and then end up exploding on somebody in the end. And when you do that, usually it's kind of a worse explosion. Around, I think, 1981, Mount St. Helens exploded in the United States and it took off like half of the mountain. And it basically formed what's called a caldera, which is the pressure builds up and it just explodes. It was actually a worse explosion than if it would have just normally exploded. So the question remains still, how do you handle it? And number two, what types of things do you get angry about? Well, I want to share with you what Jesus' brother, James, and by the way, thanks to my daughter for her nifty Bible, James chapter 1, verses 19 and 20 says this: "My dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires." So there's a couple of points there. Number one, when you get angry, are you quick to listen and slow to speak? You know, my mama always said that you have two ears and one mouth, so you should listen twice as long as you should listen twice as long as you speak. I think that's really, really good advice. And you know what? Jesus, through his brother James, says the same thing. When you get angry, you should be the first person to listen instead of speaking. And the next thing you should do is then you should try to understand that other person's point of view. If you do those things, you will be slow to become angry. But what we do, even as Christians sometimes, we flip-flop what Jesus says. We are quick to speak, slow to listen, and quick to become angry. And the next part of what James says is that anger, man's anger, does not bring about a perfect righteous life that God wants for his Christians. So the next question is, what do you get angry about? Well, apparently James says that as a Christian, it's okay for you to get angry. The question is, what do you get angry about? Do you get angry when somebody says or does something to hurt your feelings? Or are you, like Jesus, do you get angry when somebody you love or know, or even somebody you don't know, is mistreated, disrespected, treated badly, taken advantage of, hurt, persecuted, killed? Jesus looked out for all those people in the world, those people who didn't have anybody else to look out for them. He had their back. So the question I have for you today is, what do you get angry about? I want you to be thinking about that, and I also want you to be thinking about how you deal with your anger, because you can either deal with it in the right way that makes you more righteous in God's eyes, or you can deal with it in the wrong way that makes you less righteous in God's eyes. Dealing with anger is something you're going to have to learn to deal with for your whole life. And the Bible has so much more to say about this. I hope you'll drop me a line and let me know what other passages or texts or stories in the Bible you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or leave a comment, or even just a question, or hey, an idea for a video. I'd love to hear what you have to say. This is Omar Miranda with What's Your Problem, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.